so young. What happened? What are you doing having knee replacement surgery?
Well, believe it or not, I've actually needed it for a long time. I was looking for a surgeon back in my early 20s when I found out that I had the issue that needed to be repaired. And, it's very difficult to find a surgeon that will do a knee replacement on a young person. So I was very, very lucky to find Dr. Moore and receive the help from him that I did.
Yeah, yeah, I hear this over and over and over that people go into kind of their community orthopedic surgeons, and the orthopedic surgeon is like, come back when you can't walk. You got to be 65 or something.
Yeah, come back when you're completely debilitated is exactly what I was told.
Ah,
And it's hard when you've got kids and you want to do things with the kids and hike and, take them out and explore and do things. Now is the time I really want the knee.
yeah. How many kids do you have?
I have two boys.
How old are they?
I have a 19-year-old and a 10-year-old.
You've got, well, you're spacing them out there, aren't you?
A little bit, a little bit.
Two boys, that's a lot of boy. So I'm glad you've got a better knee. What happened originally to cause you knee problems at such a young age?
I was told originally that it probably was an issue that started with a knee tracking. My kneecap, my patella was not tracking straight, so it
Yeah.
kind of off the cartilage on the back side of the patella and then on the front side of the knee there. So, just many, many years of overuse and it not tracking straight, I lost the cartilage in those areas, and that was excruciatingly painful.
Were you an athlete or a dancer or a jumper or any kind of unusual? What kind of activity were you doing? That
I was a skier. I did a
oh,
lot of, yeah,
yeah, that'll do it, right? Where the boots lock you in, especially going back a generation or two on the boots. It was
yeah.
not as, and the bindings not nearly as good as it is today.
Hmm.
Yeah, I really feel for you on that young total knee replacement situation because I just don't know how to deal with this except through people coming out like you are and talking about their experience because it's happening every day right now. And when you look at it in reverse, these same surgeons that don't know that the age is not a limitation for total knee replacement, they're inexperienced and they're not specialists. Believe it or not, those guys do 83% of all total knee replacements in America. And
Wow.
studies have shown that they have a double the complication rate. So we got literally like the wrong team in there losing the game for us. And I'm so glad you're here.
No, thank you. I'm just so glad that I was able to have this done, and it has already made the world a difference in just my daily life. I mean, already, and I'm only at the 10-week mark.
Yeah.
So,
Well, how did you find Dr. Moore?
through a coworker of mine, his wife works for the Surgery Center, so his
Okay.
wife is the one who said, "Well, I'll talk to him and see maybe he's willing to work on you. You never know, and you just have to find a surgeon who's not locked into that age is the
Yeah.
number.
Yeah. And so it was through essentially a coworker, which is so often the case. And then what was it like having surgery? Can you tell me, do you remember the day? Like, what do you remember about it? What was it like
Oh,
walking in?
it was like going to Disneyland. I was so excited because I've been waiting so long to have
Yeah.
this knee done, and so it was just I was super full of just anxiety about probably the recovery, right? Like that's always the unknown, but the excitement of the possibilities once I'm healed, right? And
Hmm.
so it was a great. I mean, the whole experience from start to finish. I will tell you that Dr. Moore's team was super communicative. The surgery scheduler gave me very realistic expectations for the day of, and when I arrived, everybody was, just full of life, and everything was positive. There was no negatives that morning, which was really great. Really kind of set the tone for a good day. And I have to say that my biggest concern is always kind of revolving around anesthesia because I'm a natural redhead, and I've woken
Mm.
up in two previous surgeries that I've had where I've not been conscious enough to let them know that I can hear everything, but I was not fully out. So that's
Ooh.
that's always been kind of a scary thing for me when I go in for a major surgery, is making sure the anesthesiologist really listens to me when I tell them that I need a little extra to keep me out, the whole time.
Yeah.
And and his whole staff, everybody there was just so wonderful at really listening, and I really felt heard, which made me feel comfortable and confident when I went in for the surgery.
Was
Coming out
was
was a
anything painful? Did anything hurt that day?
the worst part of it, honestly, was a little bit of anesthesia that they put right into the joint before the surgery. Actually, that was the most painful part. Even recovering from surgery, that was the worst part. Probably was the injection site, not actually the surgical site.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I came out relatively pain free for the most part. A little discomfort, but not bad. It was all managed very well. The team was good about getting me up right away and, helping me get out ambulatory and making sure I could get to the bathroom and get out of there. And that was wonderful. And I had a complication. I don't know if Dr. Moore's office let you know I had a complication 3 weeks later. I had a revision surgery because my incision opened completely up in physical therapy.
Oh, no.
Which they assured me does not. I said, it feels like my incision's opening. And of course, the physical therapist said, yeah, it'll feel like that, but it's not happening. That doesn't happen. And it did, actually. I had the dissolvable stitches the first round, and they didn't hang around. My body liked them too much. So, so we went in and we did a revision 3 weeks after. And ever since then, I've been just on a speedy recovery track, and it's been awesome. I mean, as far as recovery is concerned, this has been the easiest thing I've ever recovered from, and I've had some pretty major surgeries. So
the curse of the redheads with the wound healing.
Yeah, that's what it is. There's always something weird about us, and that was mine. I had that.
Yeah, there is. Medications too, in my experience. It's just a different animals, different beast.
A little bit. Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. Now, what do you do? What kind of work do you do? What are you back to?
Yeah, so I'm an office manager in an elementary school, and so it's a lot of go all day. And usually on a daily basis, I walk about 7.5 miles just on the school campus. So,
wow.
There's a lot of movement.
How long was it before you could get back to work?
Honestly, if I hadn't had to do the revision, I would have said 4 weeks, hands down, and I could have gone back to daily activity for sure.
Yeah. And as it was, so the revision kind of started the clock over, but then you made it back.
A little bit. It did delay me a little bit, but really not a whole lot. It was really mostly because his staples were uncomfortable. He stapled the exterior of the incision to just make sure it would stay closed that time. Yeah. Which I appreciate how aggressive he was in handling it. It was really nice to know that he cared enough to make sure that I wouldn't have anything else happen, And so the staples were probably just maybe a 10-day delay just because the staples were uncomfortable.
I'll tell you, these surgeons are so good. They're almost like heroes, but they're human beings, and everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has imperfections. For me, as someone who deals with a lot of different surgeons, what I really look for are people who when they see their mistakes, they don't act like it's their mother-in-law in the grocery store and kind of turn the other way and pretend they never saw her, right? They embrace their mistakes. They embrace problems, which come about for a variety of different reasons, and they take care of them. And as long as you're solid like that, I'm good with you.
I really, really appreciated the way he handled everything. Honestly, I took a picture when I was still at physical therapy, and I sent it as an email because I was expecting or really hoping, kind of secretly hoping, that he would send me an email back and say, don't worry about it. Just keep a bandage on it and it'll be fine, and keep it clean and dry is what I was hoping he would say. And like I said, he called me within 2 or 3 minutes and said,
get over here.
You need to go get yourself checked in, and we're going to take care of this today in a couple of hours.
Yeah, wonderful.
So that was really, really nice to know that I was in good hands with him.
For sure. I really feel like I can trust someone who's honest and open and takes care of business, no matter what happens.
Right.
All right.
And
well,
I can't really fault him for that. That was my own body that dissolved the stitches way earlier than it was expected. And like I said, I'm kind of an anomaly anyway, so it didn't really. I was not holding it against him anyway.
Surgery complications are not a fault issue. They're things that happen, and we just have to deal with them. And thank goodness they're very rare. Yeah. But when they do happen, and they can be managed in a way that doesn't interfere with the really good ultimate outcome, which is the most important thing. Yeah. So what's going to happen now? It's a brand new year. You got a brand new knee. You got your new. What's going to happen? What's next?
Oh man, I am so much looking forward to just doing all the little bucket list items that I haven't been able to do. And mostly anything involving stairs has just been
Oh,
a big point of anxiety for me. You know, if I go anywhere and I have to do stairs, it's just been such a hindrance in my life. And so with my new knee, I've been doing stairs, and so that's so nice to not have that affect my daily life just every time you encounter a step in life, you know, which is all day, every day if you're moving around in the world. And I'm looking forward to knocking some things off with my kids with camping and doing a little bit of off-roading and some trail exploration and maybe some mine exploration since I haven't been able to really, you know, use it to climb and do those types of things. So I'm really thinking 2023 is going to be an amazing year for exploration for me and my boys.
you're not going down one of those mines where it's pitch
Oh
dark.
yeah,
Oh my
gosh,
God.
yeah, I love that. I love it. There's been bats in a few of the ones that we've
Oh,
been able to go in. I just love it.
oh, I would never do that. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Well, I'm very excited for you. I agree with you. I think this is going to be such an exciting year for you. We wish you the best and thank you so much for being out there and sharing your experience with others. So important. Young people suffering. There's so many things, avascular necrosis, which can affect the hip largely as well. People who are just born with wonky joints. And believe it or not, that's in my family. I didn't get it, but two out of my four siblings have it. And it just drives me crazy. I hear this same story over and over again.
You have
Went
to
into the
wait until you
doctor. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I kept trying to advocate and say, but these are the years that are important. And when I'm 60, I may very well enjoy being in a wheelchair and not want to get the knee done, you know. But right now is when I really, really want it. So I'm so grateful that I was able to get that.
You were too young not to do it.
Exactly, exactly. And
Yeah.
I honestly, I just told him, I said, I wish I had found him 10 or 15 years ago, even
Yeah.
because I could have recouped that extra time, you know.
Well, go hard and make up for it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lieberman.
So nice to meet you. Have a great day.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Wow, what a little firebrand. It was so nice to meet her today. I'll tell you, I don't know if it's because, as I mentioned in the interview, it's really affected my own family and my own life, but it just makes me so mad to hear that story about I went to the orthopedic surgeon who's the expert and I was told, come back when you can't walk. And I did. I went another 10, 15, 20 years. It's just wrong. And it's just you got the wrong advice because it came from the wrong doctor. And I'll explain to you right now how this happens. Orthopedic surgeons are awesome. They are lifesavers. They are dutiful, but they follow their own training. They were trained to act in a certain way. And the vast majority of them, 93, 94%, were not trained to specialize in joint replacement. They're the guy you see or the person you see when you break your leg and you're in the emergency room and it's a complex fracture and they call in the orthopedic surgeon. They do a lot of call work and they're general orthopedists. They work with all kinds of orthopedic problems, and God bless them if you break your knee or you break your leg out there exploring some crazy mine like she's going to do, then you want them and you're grateful for them and they are the best person for the job. But when it comes to having a joint replacement, they are not the best person for the job for several reasons. First is they don't know the latest and greatest. They don't use the robotic assistant. They don't know what can be done. They don't understand that today's implants have been engineered in a different way. They were taught, come back when you can't walk. They were taught to tell people that. They're just doing what they were trained to do, but it's just no longer accurate. The second thing is they're not as good. I mean, we just have to be honest about it. They're less experienced. Human beings get better. Practice makes perfect. That's true no matter what you do. That's true if you're an administrator in a school, if you're a teacher, if you're a doctor, it doesn't matter. Practice makes perfect. The surgeons who are doing a large number of these joint replacements, and quite frankly, recent study published in the Journal of Arthroplasty showed that you really want a surgeon who does at least 200 to 220 of these a year, 220 knees a year. That's the person who is going to have half the number of complications. So wrong surgeon, wrong time, giving wrong advice. If you or someone you love has ever heard that phrase, come back when you can't walk, or you're just too young for total blank hip or knee replacement surgery, they're wrong. They're just wrong. Call us or do your research. Find a 5-star joint replacement surgeon. Not only are you likely to get a better result from your joint replacement surgery with half the risk of complications, you cannot waste an entire decade of your life waiting around to get the surgery you need. Well, her smile made my day. For Best Practice, I'm Dr. Dan Lieberman. If you have a question you would like answered on Best Practice Live, click the link to our website and complete the submission form. The more information you can give us, the better we can answer your question. So please contact us and we can walk you through uploading your imaging to a secure server. Please like and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with information about your spine and joint health.